Moving on now, there is bad news for Russia's Paralympic squad. Qualifying is underway for the 2018 Winter Games, but the entire team is still banned from competing as a result of the country's doping scandal. RT's Daniel Hawkins talked us through the ban earlier.
Decision that was made unanimously by the IPC governing board. They say they have rejected an offer of a roadmap of steps from the Russian side in order to allow participation in the Paralympic qualification phase. They say that there were concrete demands made in November 2016 surrounding the Russian doping roadmap, and they say the Russians have not met those conditions. Now, the Russian Paralympic Committee say they received a letter signed by Philip Craven informing them of this.
The International Paralympic Committee has banned Russian athletes from taking part in qualifying competitions, which creates quite a significant obstacle for our team to take part in the Games in South Korea. We have not yet been given any reasons. We're waiting for the working group to give that to us together, with comments on our roadmap. The problem is that time is not on our side. Qualifying is already underway, and we won't get a clear decision on our athletes anytime soon. We may end up missing everything.
Well, speaking of clear decisions, Andy, it's about as clear as mud at the moment, because if you look at the IPC page where that decision is published, it also says very clearly at the top that they haven't closed the door fully on Russian participation in those South Korean Winter Olympics, and should those criteria be met, the ban will be lifted. The athletes themselves, though, say they will carry on training regardless in the hope that some sort of compromise can be met.
It's very frustrating news. It was clear to me from the very start. The IPC would give us false hope and then do exactly what they've done. Of course, I was hoping for the best, but now it's very hard for the athletes to stay motivated and keep training.
I was outraged and shocked by the decision. After we were banned from the Summer Paralympics, we hoped they would allow the winter athletes to participate. The only explanation I have is that they want a less impressive Paralympic Games.
Now, as one of the athletes said there, the whole team was, of course, banned from Rio 2016, along with a lot of the Russian team, the Russian athletics team, following that WADA report by Richard McLaren alleging Russia of a mass state-sponsored doping program. Since then, Russia says they've taken steps to deal with that issue, certainly to recover their image. They've established an independent anti-doping agency specifically to tackle that problem within doping, according to the WADA report. Vladimir Putin himself, he's actually signed into law much tougher criminal sanctions on people who either dope or even encourage and force athletes to dope. Both are now criminal offences with potential jail time. So I guess the question is, can those criteria be met in time for the athletes to participate in qualifications? I guess that remains to be seen.
Sociology professor Ellis Cashmore, who's a former sports and media lecturer, told us that the previous ban encouraged officials to impose these latest restrictions on Russia's Winter Paralympians.
This really is prejudging the matter. They're banning them in advance, so to speak. The Games are over a year away, and they're not really giving the Russian Paralympic athletes time to prove that they've cleaned up their act or revised policies or are making amends or are complying with procedures. So it seems as if they're prejudging the matter. It seems an unduly harsh penalty. The Paralympics just said, that's it, they're all out. We're having no Russian Paralympic team at all. And they got the plaudits for that. So I can only assume that they thought, well, the pats on the back that they got at the time were sufficient encouragement for them to pursue the ban even further and extend it.
Well, last summer, the entire Russian Paralympic team was banned from the Rio Games. It shattered the dreams of Team Russia after years of preparation. But the athletes say it has not broken their spirit.
Люди часто расстраиваются из-за ерунды.
Злятся на судьбу.
Supporters of a Scottish football team donate tens of thousands of pounds to Palestinian charities. We look at that story and more in 90 seconds.